am the Doctor, this is my section. Earth is under my protection. My planet of birth is Gallifrey. I've got 2 hearts, your life is safe. Run into the Master Raw Missy. Come on, Alonzo. Alonzi. I am a Time Lord. No, I'm not Rick. 12 bodies a man. Now it's time for a switch. Don't look like that. I'm in great health. You were expecting someone else. Regeneration. Oh, such fun. When I say run, run, run. What's up, my boy? Peace and sanity. Sorry, mustache. Reverse the polarity. Sometimes I'm north, but always a limey. Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey. Jump in the TARDIS, go for a ride. It's bigger on the inside. Exploring all of time and space. Oh, what's that? Exterminate. Cyberman, a TARDIS, baby. Would you like a jelly, baby? Time's ticking, we'd best go. A new adventure, Geronimo! I am fantastic, so are you. Best come with me, I'm Doctor Who. Brand new AD4WH episode, welcome you to. Oh, sorry, everything's gone a little bit wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey there. I'm your host, I'm 2,000 years old, but some say I don't look a day over 400. I'm Adam O'Sullivan. My second host is just doing this podcast to pass the time before the doctor comes to pick her back up. It's Nakia Schutt.
Absolutely, I'm just waiting, and look, he said he'd be here in half an hour, so we get through this quickly.
5 minutes for Amy was 12 years, so half an hour might...
Well, that's true, yeah.
And welcome to our guest today, actor and improviser. He's performed with Queensland Theatre and Queensland Shakespeare Company. It's Colin Smith.
G'day.
Hello.
That's a great, fantastic. Do you want to do a bit of an introduction, or was that...
About me in general?
Yep.
I work with the Queensland Shakespeare Ensemble. That's my home company for the last 12 odd years.
Yep.
But I've been performing at the state level with Queensland Theatre for like 5 years or so. I remember we did a short film together like 20 years ago.
Oh yes, the Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings,
and Star Wars.
20 years ago, what, were you both 8?
Oh, you?
I still looked exactly the same.
Always be nice to your co-hosts.
Yeah, right.
And Colin, do you want to go through a bit of a history with you and Doctor Who?
Oh, yeah. Like back in the 70s and 80s, my first Doctor was 4, and I was really impressed with 4's enthusiasm and general cool, and his flair for fashion, obviously, and his jelly babies. But I tuned out a bit like at 5, didn't really get back into it until 8. And I adore 10.
Me too, that's my favourite.
11's still my favourite.
Right.
I like 10, but 11 I'd go on big fat adventures.
Yeah, and yet strangely, 11 is your favourite because you wouldn't sleep with him.
Yeah, and 10 I would just sleep with him. That would...
It'd be all over.
Time for our first section, it's Doctor Who News.
Woohoo!
The Doctor Who Appreciation Society, or DWAS, as all Whovians love acronyms.
We do.
Has unveiled a blue plaque at Ealing Studios in London to commemorate the work of the first Doctor, William Hartnell.
Oh, that's nice.
Yes. The plaque was unveiled by William Hartnell's granddaughter, Jessica Carney, with Hartnell's daughter, Anne Carney, also in attendance.
Oh, that's very nice.
That's
also at the ceremony was Carol Ann Ford, who played Susan, the Doctor's granddaughter, and William Russell, who played Ian, one of the very first companions.
Oh, fantastic.
I thought maybe he just passed away. No, don't quote me on that.
Oh, this was actually a couple of weeks ago. So
unless he passed
still
in
alive. A couple of,
He's still alive. Still kicking. Good on you.
Just enough to put the plaque up and then,
Put the plaque up and it's on.
Yeah, that's right. He's like, well, my work is done. Where's my plaque? The plaque was paid for through fan donations.
That's so nice.
Isn't that lovely? They posted up.
And they should pay homage to him. He was the only one who thought it was going to last. I think everyone else thought it was going to not make it, and he thought it was going to last.
It took some coercing for them to get him to take the role, but then by the time they wanted to kick him out, he didn't want to leave.
No, I know, but he'd always played sergeant majors or baddies, so he wasn't sure he could play this lovable, affable. So I guess that's probably why he started playing him a bit cranky to start with, and then he smoothed out as he went.
And one of the reasons he took the role of Doctor Who was because he had a grandchild.
Yes.
So it's fitting that his granddaughter was there to open up the plaque.
I think it's very nice.
I was going to say her fault. Because of her that we have Doctor Who.
So we should thank her. A plaque for the granddaughter as well.
That's right. There had previously been a blue plaque at BBC Television Centre in London for William Hartnell. However, after renovations, it was removed and auctioned off on eBay.
What?
Nobody knows where it is anymore.
Oh,
of course.
Yeah, it's very strange.
And I can't sell anything on eBay, I tell you.
Wait, do you have the blue plaque?
No.
Something that you've
Of course
collected from the
not.
TARDIS,
Yeah, she's
maybe?
looking very shifty, guys. It's here in proud Australia.
It's mine and you'll never get it back.
All right, let's jump into the episode. Our episode today is the Tsuranga. Oh my God.
Tsuranga, yes.
Yeah, our episode today is the Tsuranga Conundrum, Season 11, Episode 5. Written by Chris Chibnall and directed by Jennifer Perrow.
I want you to say that 3 times really fast.
Tsuranga Conundrum?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's throw in as many consonants as possible.
Yeah.
It's like playing Countdown.
It's like speaking Welsh.
One of the medics from the 69th century, whatever it is, does have like a sort of Welsh accent.
He does.
So it is entirely filmed.
Yes, yeah, it is now. Yeah,
It is, isn't it? Right.
Originally it was filmed in London, but Wales is like the UK's version of Canada. Originally aired on the BBC on Sunday, November the 4th, 2018. Now, this is our last episode written by Chibnall until the season finale in December. Except for Rosa, which he co-wrote, Chibnall has written every single episode by himself so far.
Yes, and that's been interesting, and you can tell. I think you can see his themes coming through all of those episodes. So it'll be interesting to see what the next one's like with someone else writing it.
Yeah,
so.
we've got 4 episodes written by other people, and then Chibnall again.
Am I understanding so Moffat's completely off now?
Yeah,
or
Moffat's gone. Yeah.
Yeah, he's having a little holiday, I think.
Oh, okay.
From Doctor Who.
Steven Spielberg was talking about another Tintin movie.
Yeah.
No, he wrote the first one.
He did.
I don't know if he's involved in that. We open up on junk planet Cephalon 27, where the Doctor and her companions are searching for a part for the TARDIS.
I like that.
They're mid-adventure, aren't they?
Yeah,
You
but
know?
the TARDIS looks like it's cobbled together. I mean, it's got egg timers and old things. I imagine the Doctor's always at a junkyard picking something up.
Yeah,
you know.
indeed.
I had a friend's father who used to go to the dump and come back with more stuff. He came back once with a
TARDIS.
a tandem bike, and he said to his wife, "This will be great. I'll do it up. We'll go for a ride." She said, "Yeah, I'll ride it right back to the dump."
Instead, they find a sonic mine, and the Doctor is unable to deactivate it before it detonates. Well, that might have been the shortest episode ever.
It could have.
Yeah, it's a shame that they ended the whole show like that with everyone dead. Thankfully, the Scooby Gang are once again saved by a deus ex machina, the 67th century hospital, Tsuranga. Their internal organs have been put back together by advanced medical technology.
Why is it that all of the others, the humans, seem to be fine, and the Doctor's the only one who seems to be experiencing these after effects?
She's got more heart than everyone.
Yeah.
Boom, boom.
But that was the thing. When she kept having issues with herself and the medic looks at the screen and goes, "Oh, that's not right," I thought for sure we were going to have a reveal where they were going to be like, "Oh, we accidentally put you together with only one heart."
Yeah.
Or that, we've got 2 hearts and you look human.
Yeah.
You know, what are you exactly?
Yeah, I thought by the end of the episode they were going to have to redo the Doctor and give her the second heart back.
Ooh.
I didn't want to believe that this was their way of being like, "Oh, we're going to give the Doctor one heart and make her human again."
Let's not do
Like
that.
half human,
Please
like the movie.
Right.
Oh, yes, that's right. And that just sort of dropped off the mythology, didn't it?
Yes.
Thank God.
Yeah, thank goodness. We never want the Doctor to be half human, although he is quite obsessed with us. We're like his pet project.
That's right. Every second episode ends up on Earth around about 2018.
Yeah, I mean,
All
you
the
know.
interesting
Why
stuff
isn't he
happens on
going somewhere else, like Metebilius 3 or...
It has to pick up a human companion first.
Yeah.
Then you can go out there.
It's weird.
And yet only seems to vaguely know that Ed Sheeran is somewhere around this time.
Yeah.
Doesn't know much about the time period, but loves the people.
Just defend it. The Earth is defended.
That's because we are special.
Well, we are.
For some reason.
We are very special.
Their internal organs have been put back together by advanced medical technology. Good thing the medical tech was also able to reassemble the gang's clothing and everything in their pockets as well.
Well, I guess Sonic does travel through
Yeah.
particles. I mean, it's...
And the stethoscope?
Well, I think she nicked that.
Oh, you
I-
have this thing where you think she nicks everything.
Yeah, I think she nicked it.
Is the stethoscope only a 13 and 10 thing? Because I remember 10 having a stethoscope.
Yeah, he did.
Did any of the other doctors have a stethoscope?
I think occasionally they would always pull something weird out of their pocket, you know, not just jelly babies. There were yo-yos, tennis balls, cricket balls.
But you're right, it was mainly a 10th and 11th Doctor.
Right. Yeah, that's crazy.
But I like that finally she's properly worried about where the TARDIS is.
Well, she lost it again.
You know
We're
how
3
many-
episodes after she found it, she's lost it again.
She lost it. I think there's going to be a tenuous relationship between her and the TARDIS. But, you watch other episodes and the TARDIS goes missing and the Doctor's always like,
Yeah.
Well, they do have to put that sort of thing in. I mean, like, this episode was very kind of Ridley Scott alien. So,
Yes.
you're trapped in a thing with an alien creature. But you've got to remove the ability for the people to escape.
With a TARDIS, the alien poses zero threat.
Yeah, well, just, time travel out. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yeah.
No, we can't.
Yeah. But look, it's the first time I've seen her properly worried because I always worry. Every time they go somewhere and they lose the TARDIS, I go, well, hang on.
How do they
We've got to get this
around
back.
stuff?
Not only worried, she freaks out when
She does?
when she can't get back to the TARDIS. When they say, we'll send you back. No. She wants to go back. She wants to endanger everybody on the ship to go back.
It's very selfish.
Yeah. So she's still
But
still finding herself.
She comes to her senses.
Yes, that's right. Medics Astos and Mably attend to the patients when Astos notices something strange on the monitors.
I liked Astos. Astos had good chemistry with the Doctor.
Yeah.
Good character. And pissed off that he didn't last.
Yeah, right.
He just looks like the lead singer of Maroon 5, that's all.
Well,
It's always the good-looking one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Also, why do the chief medics get shoulder pads and a plastic skirt, whereas the secondary mechs just get a mesh shirt?
Oh.
What about the costumes? What do you think of the costumes?
Oh, they didn't bother me. What about you?
No, I was just...
She was wearing a plastic apron, but he was wearing like a full-on plastic butcher's skirt.
And I saw that blue cross on his skirt. I was obsessed with the whole. Well, the Red Cross doesn't give out their insignia anymore unless it's official.
Oh,
Unless it's
right.
official. You can't put a Red Cross on a medicine kit anymore. They have to license it. It's theirs, so they have to put this blue one on. So yeah, that's what I noticed about there.
Well, I have to say, I really did not take much notice of the costumes. They were white and shiny. That's what I noticed.
I have to admit that I watched the episode a couple of times. It was only when I was watching it this morning that I realized that Tsuranga is like the name of an entire organization. I thought it was just the name of that one ship.
No, it's the whole organisation.
Oh, no, I didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was just the one ship. Like every ship within the Red Cross would have
The
a
Blue
different
Cross.
name. Yeah, a different name basically.
Yeah,
Right.
it would.
But yeah, it's basically the name of the organization, like the Red Cross, they say. Yeah. And I didn't pick that up until this morning.
So when the doctor sort of said, I recognise the name Tsuranga
Yes.
from somewhere, it wasn't just the ship. It was
Because the first time I was like, well, how does she recognize the name? Is this going to come back? It's just a rescue operation.
Okay.
Trying to find the exit, the Doctor runs into General and Neuropilot Eve Cicero, her android consort Ronan, and her brother Dirkus Cicero. What do we think of them?
Well, Ronan, I've got a lot to say about Ronan later on.
right.
Really? He's such a bland character, though.
There are
Really?
things. There are things. Yeah, suddenly the Doctor likes soldiers. Didn't Capaldi's Doctor hate soldiers?
Yeah.
I think the Doctor is more obsessed with the legend surrounding Eve.
Oh.
And that they were in the same set of books together.
Yeah,
in the
they're
end.
both mentioned in the Book of Celebrants.
Yeah, no, the Doctor's is more of a volume.
Yeah, that's right. Yes.
I do like the way she's modest and then points that out. Yeah.
And it's been pointed out that is a complete difference from when Matt Smith basically erased the name of the Doctor from...
yeah, he did.
Peter Capaldi didn't do much to get his name back out there, which suggests that Jodie Whittaker's going to do something to get the Doctor's name back out there. Because at the
Maybe.
moment, as
She
far as we
already
know,
has.
yeah. Well, there might be something, who knows, maybe that will come into
Oh,
it
I
later.
tell you what we did gloss over, which I did like in the junkyard. Graham's been rain bathing.
that's hilarious.
I did like that.
Do you
I
think
like-
they've been skinny dipping?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Thankfully, we skipped that episode.
Oh, I'm sure that there's a fan somewhere who's working on it. But just Graham, though.
Just Graham.
Graham.
No one else.
Nobody else, yeah.
Graham
Hey.
nuded up.
We're not here to kink shame, that's for sure. We do like Graham, just not that much.
Oh, yeah.
And I must admit, I was very impressed with and I continue to be impressed by the amount of diversity in the show. And I do like that the Cicero's people of colour. I'm a person of colour, obviously. And, there were 2 white guys.
Yeah.
And one of them's gay, at least one of them. So I was very impressed with the fact that it's a very diverse season.
Yeah, it's very interesting.
It is, and also it's truly reflective of the culture we're in because we are in a diverse culture. The old Doctor Who, everybody was white.
Yep. And, white people on Earth are 20% of the population.
Yeah.
So, well, they were all in space or with Doctor Who.
It's interesting, especially in this episode where obviously Eve and Durkis are people of colour. It's not called out. The Doctor doesn't go, "Oh, you're the first black general's neurosurgeon."
Yeah.
It's just you're an amazing neurosurgeon.
Yeah.
Not neurosurgeon,
Neuropilot.
Yes,
the
that's
first
right.
woman?
I think she was just the most decorated.
Yeah. Oh, the most decorated.
I don't think they even referred to her as a woman.
And that's another thing about that. I mean, I like that Eve is a general. I saw a tweet a little while ago, which was a female artist on Twitter saying she grew up idolizing princesses. Her daughter is going to grow up idolizing generals. And she cited General Head of the Dora Milaje out of Black Panther.
Oh, yeah.
She cited General Leia Organa in the latest Star Wars series, and Tyope from Wonder Woman.
Yes.
And now I think with Eve, there should be a fourth picture added to that little series of generals.
Yeah, there's been a push for a while to try and get more women into technology and military, that sort of thing.
Yeah, into STEM field.
It can only help if we have more role models, because boys have so many role models.
Yeah, it's about time.
Yeah, that's right. The girls can't use men as role models.
No,
No, we're just waiting around to be saved.
Obviously.
Where's my prince?
Next, the Scooby Gang meet Yos Inkle, a pregnant male Giftan.
Yeah,
That's
a
interesting.
pregnant man. Well, I like the fact that you can give birth fully dressed. I'd like to try that one out.
Yeah.
Pregnancy only takes a week.
Oh, I know. I'd like to try that too.
It's just out of the way.
I kept thinking to myself, he's fully dressed. Are they going to take his pants off at any point?
No, they've got
Right,
special
right.
clothing. They've got special clothing
Do
for
that
him.
whole
I know.
birthing skirt
Yeah.
thing.
And
right?
it was a one-night stand.
That's right. Yeah,
a
he
holiday
didn't use protection on
romance.
holidays.
I think it's nice. We should just share the love and
Yeah.
joy of childbirth
Indeed,
with
yeah.
everyone.
Would be interesting to
especially
see the
that
gift
pain.
hands come back.
Yes, let's share the pain. Please.
Let's have a whole episode about it. It turns out that the Tsuranga is a hospital ship on its way to Rhesus 1, and our main characters have been out for 4 days. So as we mentioned,
4 days away. The TARDIS is in a junkyard. I mean, how does she know someone's not going to nick off with it?
Well, that's what she's worried about. That's why she
Yeah.
freaks out. The Doctor tries desperately to get the ship back to the TARDIS, but the route is automated, and any hostile interference could result in Rhesus 1 detonating the ship. It's a bit of a drastic thing to do.
Well, if you think about it, they'd come out on the convict ships, and if there was smallpox, they'd put a flag up, and then they just sit there and just all die and starve in pain.
Oh, I didn't know.
It's a bit nicer that you blow them up and a quick death.
You're
Surely you'd only know if it was a hostile thing. If everyone's dead from smallpox or something, the ship would just land and then open up, and then, suddenly everyone's got smallpox.
Well, yeah, but it's going to blow up.
Well,
No, but they wouldn't know because they haven't changed anything on the...
But doesn't it pick things up?
Yeah. Well, the detectors on the ship detect
and
any.
if you don't
Oh, okay.
check
I thought
in
it was
and
just
things
picking
like
up
that.
the Pting.
Oh, no, now you're just being the nerd.
I am always the nerd. That's my Time Lord name, is the nerd.
Right.
Because I go around going like, well, actually, the Daleks shouldn't be in this time
Daleks aren't on
zone.
that panel.
Tsuranga is hit by something which breaches the hull of the ship. Astos enters a life pod looking for the cause of the hull breach.
Don't go in,
and is
Astos.
trapped inside.
Don't go
Yes.
in. What
It is the first lesson of any one of those attrition alien movies: is don't split the party up.
Yeah.
Right?
all stay together. She says, do not engage. Oh, no, I'll engage. But he's such a great character. And then he blows up.
Yeah,
I'm very unhappy about this.
When you say he's a good character, because we don't get to know much about him, do you mean he's just a good-looking character?
No, I actually felt more of an affinity to him than any other character, even to the end of the show.
No, he's
Right,
very
right.
professional and he takes care of his patients and that sort of thing. And
Yeah,
he wants
there
to
was
protect
just something
everybody on the
about,
ship.
maybe it was the actor doing a great job.
He did a
but
great job, yeah.
I really took to that character. So,
Before the life pod is jettisoned, he gives a rousing speech to Mabley about how he believes in her.
oh, I thought that was
Aw.
lovely.
Yeah. So props to
See, he's such a great guy.
Okay,
Brett
we all
Goldstein
agree. We'll
as the
agree.
actor.
Do we know him from anything?
Oh, look, I couldn't find anything
No.
significant.
Well, I thought he was great.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
And I just want a whole episode on Astos.
Could you imagine him as a companion to the Doctor? They wouldn't get anything done.
No.
He does have his own Twitter account. I mean, you can probably follow him. But he's famous he's been on Catherine Tate's Nan.
All right.
He was a regular on Derek, Undercover, a whole lot of Off the Record, Drifters, a whole lot of British
Okay.
shows
So you're
that
saying-
we don't get in Australia.
So you're saying he's not the lead singer of Maroon 5?
No.
It's a shame, but no.
I know.
The Doctor discovers our baddie for the week, devouring bits of the ship. Known as a Pting, they eat all inorganic material but have skin that is toxic.
This is where it lost me.
Yeah? You don't like the Pting?
No, I'd rather wouldn't have seen nothing. The Pting is small enough I could slap it with my shoe. All right, it's
Except that its touch is toxic.
Yeah.
It could eat your shoe as you...
it wouldn't eat my shoe. No energy. I would have preferred something a little
Menacing?
creepier,
Yeah.
a little more menacing, because it's that base under siege sort of thing, like 42. Remember 42 with Burn With Me?
Also written by Chibnall, yeah.
And it just lessened the threat for me.
It was too cute. I mean, it had those big baby eyes and it was very
Yeah.
small. You know what I thought it was an evolved tardigrade. You know, it had that kind of thing about it. It was described as being very impervious to all harm, could survive in a vacuum, that sort of thing. And I thought, I wonder if it's a tardigrade that's, become
Evolved or-
anthropomorphic.
Yeah. Kind of looked like an adipose.
But it was very cute. And I was
Yeah,
like,
It's just a creature that they can't do any tests on. They don't have any information about. They have some great pictures, though.
Yeah.
somehow.
It's
with
kind
a very long lens.
Kind of reminded me of when I worked for the uni. They used to do a lot of work with dunnets, which is a little marsupial, Australian marsupial from Julia Creek. And if you put two dunnets in a cage together, only one will survive.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, they're nasty
They're
little
cannibals,
things.
too.
If you had one the size of your dog, it would eat you. So it kind of reminded me, they look cute little things that kill you.
Right.
So there you go. So I did think of the dunnet.
Poses a question: how do you get a baby Pting?
Yeah. I mean,
If-
Well, they must
the-
be toxic to each other.
Well, but if the Pting's slowly floating through space for
Well,
all of its life,
maybe they clone.
is there a...
Well, they could split off,
Yeah.
on a cellular
Yeah,
level.
I mean,
Oh, God, we're going to
they-
be overrun with Ptings.
They mate in the sea, don't they? Maybe they just put it all out there and a girl just accidentally floats into it and then she's got a baby.
Oh, God. I hope the TARDIS doesn't go through any of that.
Good Lord.
Maybe it's like salmon. Maybe there's a specific planet where they go once a year
Absolutely.
to mate.
Yeah. I gather enough energy, it could probably just spawn another.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, it had enough energy by the end of this episode. Maybe it's going to spawn another
Oh,
one.
what has Doctor Who done?
Yeah.
The Pting eats the sonic screwdriver but quickly spits it out. Apparently, not a fan of Sheffield steel.
No.
right.
And of course, you have to take the sonic out of the equation so that you can't have those quick fixes.
Yeah.
So
But it doesn't eat it. It doesn't eat it. It spits it out again.
it takes the energy.
The Sonic
It eats
is
everything else, though.
It's a magic wand device, It's
It
one of
is,
those,
yeah.
catch-all things. I like it, but sometimes it's that is the Deus Ex Machina of.
It does whatever needs to be done, unless you don't need it to do something, in which case you make something made out of wood.
Oh, that's another thing. Like Dirkus had a Sonic-like device. You talked about being an
Like a
engineer, and you
screwdriver,
pulled this
yeah.
thing out of his pocket, and it had a little bit of a Sonic-y look to it. And I thought, I wonder if that's kind of a precursor to the Sonic.
That's interesting.
Could
it does
be.
light up later on when he actually pulls it out to use it. I thought it was interesting that being an engineer, he just carries that thing around with him all the time.
I'm a safety person. I've always got a witch hat in my bag.
Oh, I wondered why you brought your Swiss Army knife with you.
Yeah.
I usually wear the witch hat. Fly in.
Oh my God.
Ryan and Yaz go to round up Yos and find out that Gifton males only give birth to other males. Yos is planning on giving the baby away, feeling inadequate to deal with the responsibility.
Yes, so that's the moment with Ryan sorting through his father's stuff. Bit of backstory. There were moments when they stopped to have very personal D&Ms that I thought were probably not, perhaps they could have had them when they were rain bathing, or Graham was rain bathing and everyone
gotta
was
happen in
looking
front of the
away.
camera.
It's like, great photos of your baby, mate. We need to nip off right now.
Yeah.
But, I think they're drip feeding the backstory so that, eventually at the end of the series they can resolve some of the things that have come up, like the whole fist bump thing.
Oh, yes. Yeah, I was
Eventually
going
there'll
to
be a
mention
For
that.
God's sake, give the man a fist.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, it's going to happen in the last episode.
Of course.
And I started coming up with this theory yesterday. I wonder
Okay, we
if...
got a theory.
I've got a theory. I'm big on trying to work out what's going to happen. What happens if in the last episode of the series, Graham has to sacrifice himself for Ryan, and as he does, it gives him fist bumps. That's it.
If they kill Graham, I will be so upset.
Remember the first episode? He said he shouldn't be here. He should be dead already.
Graham's just so lovable. I mean,
Yeah.
even when
Oh, I
he's
love
talking to the general's brother and, just giving him, someone to bounce against. I love him. I love
And
Bradley
it's also
Walsh's
nice
acting.
that the companions in the TARDIS aren't just the 20-something club,
Oh, yeah.
It's nice to have a slightly older character.
Again, more diverse.
Who, like in Rosa, is like, when are we going to eat? Because I need to eat right now.
Yeah, I like that. I understand that.
Oh, here's another theory that I had. When I was watching the episode and Yoss was showing off the baby pictures, I thought one of them looked a little not human. And I was wondering if the thing that landed on the ship was the baby's mother
Parent.
or father.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Really? It's toxic to touch.
But we don't know that at this point.
Okay.
Yeah, this was before they find out it's called the Pting.
Yeah, that's true. That's a very uneven love match, isn't it? One very little person.
No, actually, it's after we find out it's the Pting, but maybe the Giftons can touch them.
Oh, maybe
I
they
wasn't.
can.
I wasn't sure.
I guess they set Ronan up, hey? As
Yeah,
the
to be
thing.
useless.
Yeah, he's the only one who can touch the Pting.
Useless.
Come on.
He's the only one who can
Let
touch the
go,
Pting
come on,
because he
let
I
it
doesn't.
out.
have to let go on Ronan.
You know what? I actually thought he was, because they'd set it up as this alien, Ridley Scotty kind of thing. The distrust, I think, immediately is upon the android character. Because the android inevitably in the Alien movies.
Yeah.
Sorry, spoilers for a few decades old movie, but it betrays the rest
Wait,
of it.
did you just spoil Prometheus?
I think I did. Yeah.
I love that the clone drone androids come in white or super white.
Yeah, they
And
do.
all the colours they come in, apparently. Big hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pale, no blood.
Just super white.
Super
and,
white.
And smug.
Yeah.
Because he's just got a smug looking face on him. You want to slap that.
This is the moment where we have the moment between Yaz and Ryan, where Ryan talks about his backstory. His mum died when he was 13 from a heart attack. His dad couldn't handle looking after him and left.
Which is all very sad, but they've got 7 minutes to get everybody into the room.
Well, it's like 7 minutes in heaven. You could get up to so many different things in that time.
Okay, well, I did like that you sort of get a bit more about the dad. We thought the dad was a bit of a deadbeat dad. Now we've realised he was grieving, so he ran away.
I mean, it's still not a great thing to just abandon your kid.
No.
Regardless, if you want to keep the memory of your dead wife alive, maybe raise your kid.
It's a single dad's thing, isn't it? I mean, like, you hear the tales about so many single mums being around the place, but not much about single dad.
We've got 2.
Yeah, we've got 2. Yeah, we've got Yoss and Ryan's dad. Yeah.
And Graham, really. Single granddadding. Even though Ryan's 19, he acts like he's 12 sometimes.
He does.
The whole biker ride thing in the first episode, like...
Which we haven't really gone back to.
No.
Again, one of these things I think they'll resolve at the end.
And we were talking last episode when he gets the letter from his dad and it's like, do you want to come live with me? Does that mean that Ryan was living with Grace and Graham? Because they leave him to get the bike. So how's Ryan going to get home?
Well, he can walk.
He can't ride a bike, that's for sure. And, he's not driving.
No. Well, if he can't ride a bike, we're not letting him drive.
Rhesus 1 have noticed the Pting aboard Tsuranga and request confirmation that everything is all right aboard the ship. The Doctor confirms, but 2 more of those and remote structural detonation will be activated, destroying the ship and everyone aboard.
So they're increasing the threat
tension,
level, increasing the stake.
Shouldn't the monster for the week be doing that?
Well, yeah, there's...
External forces that are pushing the episode.
We have to get our escape routes.
Look, I've got to say, I know you don't like Moffat, but I'm starting to miss a bit more of a bigger threat, bigger arc, something.
Okay.
I can see with Chibnall, they're all very contained and they're about one person.
True.
And so I would like something that's just bigger. It doesn't have to be the entire universe, but just something else.
That's what I thought might have been happening with the last episode with the the spiders in Sheffield, that they have that presidential candidate. I wondered if it was a little bit of an anticlimactic end that they're all trapped in a room now and the big one gets shot.
Yeah.
But the resolution was a little bit weak, and I thought, well, maybe they're just setting up that presidential candidate to be the big bad.
Yeah, like the
of
Master
the
or
whole
something.
series.
I'm starting to think just none of them will come back. And that it will just be all these. I know that they're self-contained stories, but I'm starting to feel like it's, I don't know, Coronation Street with a bit of sci-fi.
I'm getting the feeling, my thinking and this, because Chibnall said there's no arc for this season. I feel like he's setting up a bunch of his own monsters to then reuse later on.
Oh, sure. Okay.
So hopefully,
Well, they
hopefully
usually
Jack
do, don't they?
Yeah. Yeah, because he doesn't want to be stuck using Weeping Angels, Daleks, Cybermen, the Master, because everyone's done that before. He's setting up his own monsters, and then I'm sure we're going to see. I would be surprised if the Pting is not the adipose of this season, where they build plush toys of it and they put it on everything.
Oh, of
Oh,
course.
absolutely.
That
Yeah.
didn't even hit me.
The adipose did not take off, and yet they were still producing plush toys of that. Whereas the
all makes
Pting has
sense,
made
yeah.
actually, an impact. So I'm pretty sure we're going to see that in the marketing at some point.
Merchandising.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd still like to see the Daleks back. I don't want to see them all the time, but I do like them.
When you're showrunner of Doctor Who, you've got to make sure you can make that coin after you've left the show.
Oh, true.
Put in a bunch of monsters, see which ones work, and then you're going to make that sweet, sweet Dalek money.
I don't want to, say bad things about Chibnall, but it's just feeling a little too small, a little too domestic.
No, I agree. It's another one of those situations where the Doctor just happens to be there when something happens. She just happens to be on the ship. She just happens to be back on Earth when the spiders are attacking.
It's all about time.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and I mean, the old series was a lot like that, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That there was no overarching story. Doctor would just turn up and you go, well, good thing he turned up.
Yeah.
And then in The Doctor's Wife, the TARDIS talks about how she always takes the Doctor where the Doctor needs to be.
Yeah, the stressing points
Yeah,
of the time
yeah.
space.
Yeah, but
So I liked that moved in, but I feel like I want something more, and I want a bit more development for the Doctor.
It's what, a third of the way through the series now?
Halfway.
Halfway.
It's
This
halfway
is
already.
halfway.
Oh my
Yeah.
God, that's right.
There's
of
only
course, BBC.
there's only 10 episodes this series. Yeah.
She's an amazing actress, and I love what she does, but I just want more of the Doctor, finding her Doctor, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, it's interesting. All of the Doctors up till now have had a couple of seasons, but Eccleston, in his first season, he had one season, and he's still got some great episodes in that season.
You did, and you knew who he was.
From the first episode,
Yeah.
you knew who he was.
Yeah, whereas they're not developing her enough.
We're 5 episodes in, and she's still going, I'm still trying to figure myself out,
Yeah, and she's still sort of got some traits from other Doctors. I want to see what her Doctor is kind of like. I like that she's the Doctor of Lego.
Yes, registered trademark Lego, which apparently they, because Mabley didn't go, what the fuck's Lego?
Yeah.
So apparently they still have Lego in the future in the 6th
I mean,
or 7th
why
century.
not? Got to have something to step on in the middle of the night when you're
Gotta
getting
survive.
up.
But she's
Yeah,
the
it's-
Doctor of mainly hope.
Yes.
I loved that.
I did too.
I did like that.
And that's a little bit of an undercurrent to the series so far.
She's much more compassionate than Capaldi's Doctor.
He was quite distancing.
And so I guess we are getting that, but a little bit more would be nice.
Now, what do we think about this plan to not deal with the Pting, to, for some reason, alter the course of the ship to go back to Rhesus 1 quicker? I think that's what the mission was.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I got a bit lost here. So if we get there quicker, we can release the Pting onto Rhesus 1
Yeah, I don't know.
quicker.
But the life support starts going down, and they say, well, we need to go there quicker, as if that's the most important thing. Well, get the Pting off, and then maybe we can fix some stuff.
Yeah, whereas nobody really... And I mean, you saw it. Yaz did it. She just stunned it,
Yeah.
covered it in a blanket,
Just
and
stun
kicked it.
Get one of those guns and just shoot it for...
And Ronan stood around looking useless.
She's the cop.
Because it only takes them another 50 minutes to get back to Rhesus 1. They only have to shock it for 50 minutes. Of course, this is a TV show, so a pregnant person in a tense situation
Of course.
is now ready to give birth.
Oh, it's got to up the stakes.
Exactly.
Always.
As if we don't have enough going on, with the life support going down, the Pting having to reroute the course for some reason.
And his fluids break and he's still fully dressed.
I was like,
Well, they're
yeah,
internal
like-
fluids.
Oh, fair enough.
Yeah, he just knows.
Oh, yeah, there was that little dig, I think, about the fact that there's a certain part of the pregnancy for men that doesn't have pain, and I was like, oh,
The pregnancy sac doesn't have pain.
Yeah,
God's
yeah.
sake.
Yes, and I have a word to God about the designing of women at some point.
Sorry, but Doctor Who has told me that women experience no pain during
Oh.
childbirth.
God. And I shall take Adam out the back and beat him later.
Whoops. Mabley takes Yoss back to the pod for medical care, and Ryan and Graham tag along as Yoss's doulas or birthing partners.
Well, and you'd think, as a woman, you wouldn't want just one man there. You'd want a few women. So as a bloke, he wants some blokes there to have some blokey time.
they can talk about sport or something while
Yeah,
they're
talk
giving
about
birth.
sport while he's giving birth.
Monster trucks.
Yes. We are then treated to a short information session about antimatter.
And I was waiting for the PowerPoint.
This is a PowerPoint
slide to
presentation.
come out.
I kind of liked it, actually. You know what? At the
I
end
did
of it,
too,
I thought, well, what's really in this moment is her enthusiasm for the science. And it's a little bit of a science lesson, fair enough. Like the fact that she just loves the simplicity of what CERN does and what the ship does.
I like the little thing where Durkis goes, yeah, it's a bit old-fashioned, this one.
Yeah, it's just like having a petrol-driven engine, internal combustion.
It's not even a hybrid. Oh,
I never thought I would ever miss the old 70s cliche of the doctor's companion would go, "Doctor, but what does that mean?" And the doctor would say, "I'll explain later," and never would. Now I'm starting to miss it sometimes with the PowerPoint slides. we're getting.
Right.
Just occasionally.
Now, you say Ryan has nothing to do with this episode. I think Yaz has nothing to do with this episode, and that's why they get her to look after the antimatter drive, because she hasn't done anything so far.
I don't know if I said Ryan had nothing to do. Ronan.
Ronan, right, okay. Yes, no, I agree.
Ryan's
well,
busy
they both
spilling
look
his guts.
They both look after the antimatter drive. So the two useless characters, well, not useless. Yaz is more important, but she doesn't do anything this episode except for just look after the antimatter drive.
Well, she stuns and drop kicks Pting. Ronan could have picked it up and run with it.
And held it.
He's an android. Couldn't he go fast? Don't androids go
Until the
fast?
Pting tried to eat his arm, I guess. So.
Grab it by the things at the top, or hold its head so it can't eat you.
And it distends its jaws. It's like, what do you do?
Yeah, look, she is a little bit underused again. She's more of a sounding board for everybody else.
Yeah,
I
she
hope they're
goes
gonna
around
do
just
more
telling
with her.
other people how good they are.
So I'd like to see a bit more, even though we've met her family, I still didn't really get much more of a sense of her.
I do like that reflection of, how UK police don't have sidearms.
Yep.
They have that thing where, if they need somebody with a sidearm, they'll call their SWAT units and that sort of thing. And that's a little bit kind of the Doctor-ish.
Yeah.
The Doctor only has a sonic screwdriver, doesn't have a laser weapon of any kind.
Yeah.
I like that kind of parallel between the two jobs.
Well, that's true.
And we got the parallel last week where Jack Robinson just wants to shoot everything because he's an American. Whereas, the British way of doing things is, well, no, we don't shoot things.
Non-violent solutions.
We try and sort things out first before we shoot them, and American police officers all do carry sidearms.
Yeah, and and shooting something is the easy way out in any kind of science fiction, any fiction really. What is the message of the Doctor? But let's show some compassion. Let's hear the other side of the story.
Yeah.
Let's try and sort it out
Hope.
without having to.
Yeah, hope.
That's a really good point, Colin, because that is the message of it. The message is listen, get to know people, understand them, don't shoot to kill.
To break it down, the Doctor as a name, doctors in our world have a Hippocratic oath.
Yeah.
They
Do
vow
no
to
harm.
do no harm.
Yeah, that's right.
And that's something that I think is nice about the Doctor as a character.
Durkis the engineer rigs a makeshift control device so that Eve can fly the ship, but the Doctor realizes that Cicero has pilot's heart. She yearns to love another pilot. No. She has to use adrenaline blockers to get through the day.
I find that really interesting about that sickness. Like, you get adrenaline spikes so much from being a pilot that it affects your performance.
Well, and it
Like
must
you're
be
chasing
something.
adrenaline or something.
It must be something you get from doing that job.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
The surges of adrenaline. And I quite liked that actually. I thought
the excitement.
Yeah.
She says being a general, she shouldn't get pilot's heart. I would say the opposite.
Mm.
It would make people more aware of pilot's heart and hopefully get more research and get people to look at it,
Yeah.
like-
So we could have wear your thongs to work for pilot heart research. Day.
She should come out and say, I have pilot's heart. We need to do more to research it and people shouldn't be
Absolutely.
living in silence,
I like that. You'd have something more like, surprise everybody day, to get their adrenaline up. That would be, jump out.
And if someone has pilot heart, it kills them.
All right,
Yeah,
well,
don't do it at the pilot academy.
I didn't think this through. Yeah.
Yaz and Ronan manage to stun the Pting and get it away from the antimatter drive. Meanwhile, Ryan and Graham help Yoss give birth.
Yes, the giving birth.
Yeah.
I did think about you because Graham said
I
I've
have
watched.
given birth recently, yeah.
Yes.
Congratulations.
And you did have your pants off, but I don't know why I said that.
You just feel like you gave birth.
Say whatever you want now because I'm cutting all of this
yeah,
out.
yeah. And see, now he's God. He thinks he's
Yeah, right.
No, because Graham said I've watched all the episodes of Call the Midwife, and Adam doesn't like anything that his mother liked
Yes, yeah.
because he's got some sort of mummy issues we're not talking about
Sure,
right now.
right.
It would just, I just said if my mum liked Doctor Who, that would be weird.
So do you watch Call the Midwife?
I do not watch Call the Midwife, although I did like I do like Miranda Hart.
She was very good. I didn't watch it either.
I like her as a comedian, but she's obviously not comedic in that.
No. But I did think of you at that point.
It is a show that my mum loves, so...
Yeah, I thought Adam's mum will love
So if
this.
Miranda Hart became the new Doctor, I'd be overjoyed. But then once
So
my mum
would your
was like,
mother.
yeah, once my mum was like, oh, let's check this out.
For you to be watching it together. Right?
Yeah.
I desperately wanted my mother to like Doctor Who, but my mother has no imagination, so she just goes, well, that wouldn't happen. Well, you wouldn't...
Suspend your
You
disbelief for
couldn't,
just a second.
that box couldn't have that much in it. I took her to see Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory and she ruined the whole thing. That's
So
ridiculous.
basically her thinking is like a podcast on the episode.
Yeah. What?
It's
I
science
don't know.
fiction, Mum. Fiction.
The Doctor realizes the Pting is searching for energy to eat, even though we have seen it eat a bunch of non-power related objects on the ship. Also, Cicero says earlier in the episode it will go for the power source next, and they've been protecting the antimatter drive, so how come they didn't realize it was after energy this entire episode?
Well, I don't know, but what I did notice is the Doctor has her big epiphany, which means now they can get rid of the Pting and they don't have to pilot through the asteroid field and kill Eve, the general.
Yeah, right.
No, but they still do because they're off course now. They've already started, they're off course.
All right,
She did ask
okay.
that very early on, didn't she? She said every creature, no matter how big or small, wants something.
Yeah.
So she identified the fact that it wants something, and that's one of those things. One of these things we study in the Queensland Shakespeare Ensemble is theatre of the oppressed, and that we get into what the needs of a certain party are, and that drives everything, and it also drives everything about acting. My profession is that you have an objective, you have a super objective. What is that thing that you need that drives you forward, dictates your tactics to get over the obstacles in your way to get that thing?
And that's very much human nature. So I used to be an investigator, workplace health and safety investigator. It's always finding out what drives people to act the way that they act and what systems are set up. It's not about blaming someone. It's about working out what the motivation is. I mean, that was always my problem. Remember I said I didn't like the second master that we had in the old series. I liked the first guy, didn't like the second because he didn't seem to have any motivation except just to go, I'm going to take over the world. Yeah.
Twirling my mustache.
And I want to be able to have some motivation behind it. It doesn't work.
And
Doesn't
all bad guys have to have.
Well,
a
they
thing
don't think
that
they're bad. The Pting's not bad.
No,
The
it's just
Pting,
hungry.
Like Graham.
Yeah. Maybe we'll see a spin-off called Graham and the Pting.
Yeah. And they're dining. They're dining experiences.
Oh, it's a cooking show.
It's a cooking show.
No matter what Graham makes, if it's good or bad, the Pting will just eat it.
Yeah, pretty
As long
much.
as it's got some energy to it.
But I also noticed the Doctor has her moment, her epiphany. Oh my God, it's like, and then you cut to the brother and sister and they're going, It's like nobody goes, well done,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
woohoo. It's just like, shut up, would you? We're busy.
The thing when she gives them the briefing and then she says, I thought there would be more questions.
Yeah.
I like that. I did like
Everybody
that.
just kind of accepted it and moved on.
The Doctor removes the remote detonation device from the antimatter room. 10 points to Yasmin Khan, and yes, she is keeping score.
Yes, I like that.
Ronan got no points.
Yeah.
So.
Well, he does need to up his
There
game.
you go.
And excuse me, but why wouldn't we get an android who's about to be put out of service anyway to walk the bomb to the pod?
Yeah, let's just grab the Pting,
Yeah.
get in
Why
the airlock.
why do you
and-
take Yaz?
The android was only there to get the extra adrenaline blockers.
Yeah, the android was useless, and Ronan deserves to be put out of service. Get rid of him.
Done.
Done.
That's the thing at the end. I love that where it's like, so what's going to happen now? And he goes, well, I've reached the end of my service and I'm going to be deactivated. There's kind of this moment where I thought Dirk was going to be like, do you want to come live with me?
Yeah, I
And
did
it doesn't.
too.
It doesn't happen. It's like, well, that sucks, buddy. All
Yeah.
right.
You're the equivalent of a walking, talking blender. I'm just going to switch you off.
Tough luck. I bet Data from Star Trek wouldn't like that.
Who he looked like a lot.
yeah. With very tall,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
Dubrow hair.
Yeah. You probably want a model that doesn't have as big a hair. You know, that's probably an old model, very sort of the 80s look, and so you want the new version.
You think Ronan is like the new wave android?
No, I think he's like the old one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and I think you want the hip hop.
No, when I say new wave, I mean the
Oh, yes.
80s new wave.
The 80s new wave. In fact, that's what he looked like. Someone from like Bros or Spandau Ballet.
Who knows? I mean, it could be someone from Bros.
It could be.
You want the one that looks like Astos, right?
Yeah. I just want Astos.
There's a lot of band-looking people in this episode.
there
Maroon
are,
5,
Sure.
Bros.
Yeah.
Or
You know,
Spandau
all of
Ballet.
the all of the popular music that everyone's watching.
Actually,
Yeah.
I actually thought that Mabley looked a little bit like Bjork.
Oh yes,
Oh, yeah.
A little bit.
yeah.
She was lovely.
She was adorable.
I
liked
really
her.
liked her.
I liked that she didn't have confidence in herself.
Yeah. And the doctor was helping her and Astos was helping her.
I think there was a lot about what the series was about. Oh, no, sorry, the episode was about in the end. You know,
Yeah.
it was about having faith in yourself and others. You know,
Yeah,
how
and
do you-
imagination.
Yeah.
She said you can't come up with a solution without imagination, which is something Einstein always said.
True that.
There you go. True that.
True
Fist
that.
bump.
I'll give you a fist bump. There you go.
Guys, the relationship between Nakia and Colin has grown. They are fist bumped.
And Adam won't be back for the next podcast.
Oh, wait. Oh, I should have seen that.
God.
I didn't realize we were auditioning new hosts.
But what I did like when they take the bomb is pick a number between 1 and 100.
Yes.
51.
Yep. And then she goes,
I would have gone higher.
What's the number for? Well, that's the number of seconds I set it for. Oh.
Kind of setting that up, but no. I did look up pentagonal numbers. I didn't know what they were, and I was like, oh, another little science lesson.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
The things you can learn from Doctor Who.
Yeah, right.
The Pting emerges, eats the bomb, and the Doctor activates the airlock to shoot the Pting out into space.
All right, I've got to say,
Yes.
before the Pting finally gets there,
Yeah.
when it's not coming and the doctor says, oh, I hope I wasn't wrong, I'd be so embarrassed.
so embarrassed,
And
yeah.
Yaz goes, and dead.
Dead right.
It was such a good line. I really like that. She's
so
worried about being
fabulous.
embarrassed.
Well, the Doctor's probably not going to be dead. She'll just regenerate.
that's
in the-
right.
in
Yeah,
the-
right.
You think it's a funny line, but it's actually a cold realization of the Doctor just doesn't care about other people's
She
death.
put them in the TARDIS. She didn't give them the backstory of Amy, Donna,
Yes.
Clara, you know.
She goes, I can't keep you safe. And no one asks, question, has anyone died?
What do you mean by saying?
Don't enter the memorial room.
Yeah, right. Let's not talk about all of the fallen.
Oh my God, it's a cathedral in here. Yeah.
Flowers laid everywhere.
Right.
I'd like to point out that since the Doctor set the timer to 51 seconds, it has now been 3 minutes or 180 seconds. Very difficult to time something that perfectly when you're writing the script before.
Well, it's, wibbly wobbly timey.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, God, I've missed the nerd.
Ryan comforts Yoss while he gives birth, telling him that he's a great person, even though all Ryan knows about him is that he got pregnant on holiday and is a bit apprehensive about keeping the baby.
Yeah, he doesn't know anything about him. He could be a...
He could go, Yoss, what's your job? Oh, well, I murder kittens back on.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Maybe give that baby away.
But in the end, it's Ryan transferring his desire
Yes.
for his own father
Yeah.
to have just stayed around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what's the line he says? You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be there.
Yeah.
And it's true. It's true. Yeah, it's better to for a parent to be there than to.
Being a parent, yeah, there's no instruction book. You have no idea. You get better with the second one. You make all your mistakes on the first. I'm so sorry, honey. I love you both. But yeah, you do make lots of mistakes along the way because you have no idea what you're doing. So I thought that was nice. And
Yeah, it was nice that Yoss says he's going to make mistakes, but he's going to learn.
Yeah.
It's just important for a parent. When I say parent, I mean someone looking after him, not
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. And then he
Doesn't
calls
necessarily
the poor kid avocado.
Yeah, avocado pear after the ancient.
Earth hero.
I was
Hero.
wondering what there was a reference to, and I couldn't pick it. But
No.
it's obviously just
No.
something.
It was just
But
a
that's
lot
a
of
random
smashed
thing.
avocado or something. I don't know. Maybe they think avocado smashed
Yeah.
the baddies.
I didn't know if avocado pear was a thing, but no.
No,
it was just
look,
hilarious.
Just two
I
fruits.
couldn't find it, and it is a fruit, not a vegetable.
It is
because it's
yeah.
got to say yes.
But
Yes.
you wouldn't have it in a fruit salad, that's for sure.
No, I wouldn't. Kind of looks like green snot, but anyway.
Like tomato rice.
Tsuranga manages to reach Rhesus 1 safely, but General Eve Cicero has succumbed to the pilot's heart.
Yes, I'd like to have been sadder, but I was sadder that Astos.
Yeah. Well, there's no time to get to know her. There's just
Yeah, and she just...
There's so much happening in this episode.
Oh, you know, I disagree. I think there's a couple of moments like the fact that she says, look, I thought I would die in war.
Oh, yeah.
And then she actually dies saving lives, which is really great.
Yeah.
The second part was it gave her and her brother the opportunity to reconcile.
Which was very nice.
There's that moment where he goes, I love you, sis. And she goes, I love you too, bro. And I was like, did they add in the sis and the bro because they'd been acting like a couple up till now? And you know, it was never, there was no kind of brotherly, sisterly sort of moment to
Bro
make
could just be, you know, mate. I love you too, mate. I'll go home and try to my husband. I love you, bro.
Well, they just wanted to make sure that we remembered that they were brother and sister, you know, because we hadn't seen any moments between them that were familial.
Maybe, yeah. I didn't really think about that. I just thought it was a nice moment.
I'm the nerd. I have to ruin everything.
Yeah, thank you.
Yoss's baby is safe. Doctor Who is pro-life, and Yoss will keep the baby, naming him Avocado Pear after the ancient hero. That's what we get from this episode?
Hope prevails.
Hope prevails.
Hope prevails. The incant was nice.
The little prayer.
That kind of summed up, I think, the whole premise of this season.
Yeah.
It's all about
and there's that
caring.
Point, there's that point like just after Ronan has said, I'm going to be shut down, and Durkis is like, oh, that sucks. Do you want to do the ritual and then you can just be shut down, I suppose.
We'll take your batteries out or whatever.
Yeah.
So do the ritual about, you know, death, and then we'll kill you.
Yeah. And then I assume that the doctor gets sent back to her TARDIS, probably to keep looking for that part that she needs.
I wonder if I don't think it'll come up again.
No, of course not. No.
I think that's it.
Yeah, they didn't want to. They had ended the episode and they just wanted to keep going.
I think so. I mean, at least the Pting had, you know, they didn't leave it to suffocate or, you know, it went off with a full tummy, having a lovely old life.
I thought it was going to have a little food coma as well when it was like, I'm just going to have a sleep now.
Like a Christmas food coma.
Yeah. In that last moment with its glowing belly, it did look super cute.
You're right.
It did.
Merchandising, you're going to get a fluffy one.
People have compared it to Stitch from Lilo and Stitch,
God.
or Futurama's Nibbler.
Oh yeah, Nibbler. That's the one it reminded me of.
That's the one it reminds me of too.
Yeah, so it just wasn't scary enough for me.
No.
Fair enough.
That was my problem.
That's the end of our recap of the episode. Is there any other opinions about the episode you guys want to talk about?
Look, I have to say that I was dreading rewatching it.
Yep.
Because I didn't like it the first time, and I hate to say that because I love Doctor Who. I just felt nothing after it.
This episode has been very divisive.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mixed reaction. A couple of people have said it's one of the worst episodes.
Oh.
A lot of people have said.
Oh no, it's not the worst.
No.
Yeah, The Beast Below was the worst. I couldn't stand that episode.
Oh,
Couldn't stand it.
I haven't rewatched it obviously because it wasn't very good.
Couldn't stand it, and Love and Monsters, didn't like that either.
Yeah, I've heard that episode mentioned a lot.
Not the worst, but certainly is not going to be on my replay list.
Yes, yeah.
At all. Not like last week.
Rewatching it and going back, because I did quite enjoy it the first time I watched it, but going back and watched it again, there's so much going on. If they'd taken out some of those subplots and just focused on what they were doing, I feel like it would have worked a little bit better. It's not a terrible episode, but yeah, I agree. I'm probably not going to come back to it anytime soon.
Yeah, not like the first episode, of the season where, you know, you're waiting for the moment where she says, I'm the doctor. Yeah. Aside from the alien with the teeth all over him, which was disgusting.
Tim Shaw.
We love Tim Shaw. We do callbacks to Tim Shaw.
Another alien that we think is probably going to come back. They're just setting up the building blocks and they'll keep working with them for the rest of the series.
Not this season.
No.
I don't think this season. I don't think we're going to see anything come back this season.
Well, they've only got one more episode written by Chibnall, so unless
Or maybe they're all coming back for that episode.
Back. It's a party.
It's a reunion special.
You're right.
Hey guys, remember the Pandorica?
What happened there? I've always got lost. But anyway.
Anything else you'd like to talk about?
Oh, look, I really like that meta theme of like placing trust in others or trust in oneself, and I think that was the core of the thing.
Yeah, it has a good message. Yeah.
Yeah, I liked the crew and the patience of the Tsuranga ship opening up to the people who come from the TARDIS. You know, that why am I trusting you all of a sudden? Durkis opening up to Graham. You know, all that sort of stuff. 13 seems to have gathered around her at the very least people who are trustworthy and have that kind of face that are open, and that's kind of what we need out of our core members of the show. You know.
Yeah, and I like that they say, you know, they give you the whole lecture on the Pting, and then the TARDIS team go, well, you know, we're going to be okay.
Yeah.
You know, they're always.
I back us every single
yeah,
time.
I really did like that. So you're right.
Yeah, there's a lot of trust in the companions.
Yeah, they
already.
do well.
I mean, they've only been traveling for a little bit, so.
Well, we don't know what else they've been doing besides rain
once
bathing.
they start making, once they start making the audio books.
Yeah,
And there's
then we'll know.
200 in between one episode.
Oh no, right? Yeah.
Do you think they're setting up episodes like this so that there can be that extra material?
Well, maybe.
Novels and
you're going to have
audiobooks and-
novels. The novels are written by... Is it the same BBC put out the novels?
Yeah.
But Big Finish do the audios.
Yeah.
So Big Finish won't be able to do anything until this doctor's gone.
I'd be interested in getting the comics, actually, because I think there are...
The first Jodie Whittaker comic is either just come out or it's just about to come out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting to see what they do in those.
Interested enough.
So what did you rate it?
Yes, so we like to rate our episodes from 1 to 5. I am going to give this episode a 3. Another 3. It's my least favorite episode of the series so far, but there's nothing terrible. It's just got too much going on for me. That's all. If they had focused on one or two different things, maybe I would have liked it. Or if I didn't like the way that they went, I would have disliked it more. Yeah, it's just kind of a blah episode that they kind of crammed too much in.
I hate to do this, but I'm giving it a 2.
Ooh.
Oh, no.
Yeah, look, it just...
Our first 2.
Yeah, it just... I could go 2.5, but no. It just didn't do it for me. I wanted it to. The monster was not threatening enough. The premise was great. I'm like what you said, Adam. I felt like they spent too much time trying to get back to the planet and not enough time trying to combat the threat.
Yep.
Which would have worked better for me. I'm also looking for a bigger story maybe. So
Yeah.
and I'm used to the bigger story, you know.
So it's also your least favorite episode of the series so far as well.
Absolutely.
Interesting to see how that compares to the next 4 episodes which Chibnall isn't writing. And Colin, do you have a score between 1 to 5 for this episode?
You know what? I don't like the whole, being trapped on a ship attrition kind of setup.
Yep.
There were flaws with the episode, but I think those little moments of hope and faith really brought it up for me. So I'd give it a 3.5.
Okay, yeah,
Ooh.
all right. And would you consider this episode better or worse than Arachnids in the UK?
A little bit better for the reasons I've said before, because there was a little bit of an anticlimax about Arachnids.
Okay,
That it was solved a little too easy and a little bit too anticlimactically. But yeah, I do have that kind of thing where maybe they're setting up their big bad in that, but they're kind of holding their cards back a little.
I've got a ranking of all the episodes. So for Nakia and I, this is our least favorite episode of the series. But for our guests, you have just placed it at the top. It's the favorite episode of the series so far.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Very interesting. Very interesting. And Nakia?
Oh, yes. And one of the things we ask all of our guests is, what would your Time Lord name be? It's got to be something that sums up who you are. So Adam is the nerd.
Yes.
Yeah. He's the one who just, destroys all the myth for you.
What did you take?
I didn't pick my own, I would say. My family told me mine is the Commander because I'm bossy. In my family, we have the Commander, the Inquisitor, and the Destroyer. So you don't want to run into us too often.
God, yeah, it's
just
a
to
war
point out-
party of Time Lords.
Just to point out, those aren't all names for you. Those
No,
are
they're
different
names
members of your
for,
family.
for my husband and my daughter. So what do you think yours would be?
Well, this is the thing. I mean, it's gonna sound a little bit cheesy, but I probably would choose the actor.
Yes.
Not only because it's my profession, but I believe in action rather than sitting on something.
You're like action man.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't just be you having a different costume every week.
Yeah. And putting on an accent.
Yeah.
There might be a little bit of that. Go
to
to the
hear, good
endless
to hear,
wardrobe and pick out something.
And in the middle of the catastrophe going, what's my motivation?
What does this character really want?
Yeah.
What are its obstacles? What's
or
its
asking
super
the
objective?
bad guy, what's your motivation? So I can defeat you, what's your motivation?
Yeah, the accents probably would be a pretty good thing to do as well.
Yeah,
that's one of my
true.
fortes.
That's true.
Is like put on something a little bit different to please the kids. Or...
Well, we should have got you to do the whole episode in your Yorkshire, Northern Sheffield. Sheffield accent. Yorkshire. I'm going everywhere. All right, so we've got the actor.
Oh, the
We've
actor.
had the Fixer.
Fantastic.
Oh,
The
I think
nerd.
so, right, okay.
The Commander. I still want to be something nicer.
Pick a new name if you like.
My family will
Yeah.
rubbish
They'll
me if I
find
do.
you.
Oh,
They'll
no.
find you. They'll be like your master. They'll find you
Yeah.
and tell you your name again.
Yeah, and I'll tell them to stop.
All right, that's been us for another week. Thank you for joining us, Colin. This episode
My
will be
pleasure.
dropping December the 2nd. Is there anything you'd like to plug?
Oh, December the 2nd, I think I will be only just finishing my season of What I'm Here For, which is a show that I'm doing with Elbow Room and in conjunction with the South Bank Corporation, which is a site-specific show on at South Bank. It tells a variety of different stories about South Bank from the time of my people back in the day until colonisation to Expo to beyond. I think that's actually the last thing
Yes,
I'm doing for the
yeah.
year. Everything else is a little bit up in the air. I don't have anything really solid until next year, unfortunately. But hopefully people will be able to hear that and go along, maybe.
Any social media that you want to plug, or do you have a Facebook page?
I'm on Facebook only under my personal page. So it's Colin W. Smith, ColinWSmith. Same on Twitter and on
Instagram?
Instagram. Yeah. Oh no, wait, Instagram. It's Colin W. Smith AU. So, and that's probably the best place to get me is Insta or Twitter at Colin W. Smith. I don't have my website up and running just yet. It's still in the works.
We'll keep you up to date when you have stuff going on in the new year. My name is Adam O'Sullivan. You can find Adam O'Sullivan Comedian on Facebook. Also visit thenerdinfinite.com. D4WH has a Facebook page. Follow that for updates and rate and review us on iTunes to help get the word out. Nakia.
So I have my comedian page, Nakia Schutt, on Facebook. Don't have anything else at the moment. And I've got a gig coming up on the 6th of December at the Dog and Parrot Tavern
awesome.
at the Gold Coast. So if you're around, come on down.
Until next week, we'll be back to discuss a brand new episode. Until then, keep searching the skies for the Doctor and never give up hope.
Oh, that's lovely.
This has been a production of The Nerd Infinite. And then the sound of dragons spitting fire and stuff. What? Why are you looking at me like that?